All right, everybody. You know what time it is. Thirsty Thursday. Time for another hometown hammer. I see Kieran, Charlie Boy, Big Up Canada, Peach in the house. All right. Before I introduce my guest for this evening, just wanted to give everyone a reminder to like and subscribe to all of your TV channels. You can get your gear at htv.threadless.com. I'm definitely going to need to work with Tim to get some t-shirts for this show because, you know, big up on Thursday, right, Peach? And just remember, every like and subscribe is a West Ham win. And I don't want to talk about Saturday, so let's like because I really want to get Burnley this week. So tonight I have another special guest. This guest is from across the pond, featuring our own Jesse Lingard, coming in hot. That boy Fever, James Fever. How are you, James?
Wonderful, mate.
You know, I wish you could have done it on Saturday.
Defeats, but yeah, I know. I'm all good. How is everyone? How are you doing?
Well, I'm happy to have you here. It makes me happier because I do believe that you and I share a lot of commonalities in our thinking when it comes to West Ham and how they play. So it's always a pleasure to have a chin wag with you, as our friend Peach would say. Hey, Mark, good to see you. So before we jump into everything, I guess we do have to kind of touch on Saturday because I am very sad about it. But what were your thoughts? Obviously, people are disappointed, but you know, it's good to get your opinion.
None of dust is settled. We just didn't turn up, really. And I know people keep saying about injuries and all that, but every team has injuries, and every team's got injuries to players. I think like we was awful for 30 minutes. It was good for 10. They scored. Second half we come out, we was good for 15, and then it just filtered out. And then obviously the red card, which wasn't a red card, but even then, even with 11 men, I don't even think we would have come back into the game. Like we didn't look like scoring against them. And they're a well-oiled machine, Chelsea. They've got £240 million for talent. So from their new signings. So yeah, it's a defeat, but it's all about Monday now for me.
It is all about Monday. I'm going to turn my frown upside down, and we're just going to focus on. But as you and I said in the green room, you know, I think that we can really tell what's going on with the team within the first 10 minutes, whether or not we're going to go for a win. But I'm excited to see what will happen this weekend or Monday. I'm hopeful. James, I'm not going to get my hopes up too high, but, you know, I keep on pressing forward for you Irons. So, James, let everyone know where they can find you on social media, and we'll get into your fandom history.
Who's it? It's down there.
Fuzzy.
Twitter. when the comment goes, that's it. Just find me on Twitter, and you'll see all the stuff that I do on Hammers Polls, and have Katie on there, Sully on there, View from the Sideline, Stateside. Excuse me. And yeah, you just find me on there and Facebook and all that. And yeah, come and chat to me. I mean, I live in the ends. I'm from East London. Talk to me. Be my friend.
They're saying that your audio is a little fuzzy. Do you think it could be the headphones? Maybe.
Hold a minute. Let me see. How's that? Better? Better? No?
Yeah.
Right, okay. No. Right, now talk to me.
It's crackly. Mark says it's crackly. Charlie Boy says fuzzy. Yeah.
Is it better now? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
Dodgy headphone. Right.
Awesome. So yes, Hammers Polls. Everyone needs to make sure that they go like and subscribe to Hammers Polls because they put out great content every week. I am constantly retweeting what James has to put out there. So guys, make sure you get out there. And Kieran, it is not mine. Okay, I keep my computer on lock. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to Hammers Polls. And every once in a while, I'll pop in and do View from the Stateside. That's the other new show that James does, which I love. I think it's great. We get to rank the players on how they did on the game. I always try to be a little more generous, except when it's Antonio. So, so you're obviously born and bred West Ham.
Yeah.
So
sadly, so
there's no getting around being a West Ham fan. You are thick or thin, ride or die, heartbreak to heartbreak.
Yeah. It's been hard, mate. I'm not going to lie. I was born into it. I had family from East London. My granddad was from 10 minutes from Upton Park in Plaistow. Dad's from Canning Town. Mum's from Manor Park.
Oh, my goodness.
And I've been brought into it from a young age. And basically, a club you don't pick a club. A club chooses you, sort of thing. And at the end of the day, it was either support West Ham or become homeless. And I didn't fancy being homeless, if I'm honest. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to follow West Ham. And yeah, I've done ever since, mate. It's been, and I've seen some hard times at West Ham. And I know this season's been good. This season has been really good. But to me, I will know more next season where we're heading. Because if we go back to being the same old West Ham, so to speak, then nothing's changed. But if we progress and get better next season, then I can see a progression. Because West Ham don't do 2 good seasons in a row. We've never have done. And I think that if it's a new beginning for West Ham, then it'd be interesting to see. But it's been hard. Yeah, it's been hard.
So what would you say is more heartbreaking? Last year fighting relegation or this year watching us lose matches where you know that we have the potential?
Well, I'll tell you one heartbreaking moment, and I will go back a long time ago. 2003 was the time when I've never cried. I was 16 years old and I cried my eyes out in 2003 because we lost the likes of some of the best players to ever play in the English Premier League. We had Defoe, Carrick, Joe Cole, Glenn Johnson, Canute. Yeah, we had a phenomenal team. And when we went down in 2003, that was like the whole team got stripped away from us, and that was a heartbreak. This season, it's been enjoyable. It's been no stress, no worries, no fear of going down. But with that becomes expectation and ambition, and I just think we're just not gonna get Champions League. In my opinion, I think the last 2 games we needed to win one of them, and we've lost both. I think Europa League's doable, but we've got to start playing sensible and not play so negative. But this season's been good. Like it does beat. I've seen West Ham too many times to turn around and say that like this season's been bad, because I want us to be in this situation every year, not just once a year, like just once every other 10 years or something.
Absolutely. Yeah. If we could have this every season, it would be a beautiful thing. Mark definitely dodged a bullet last year. I think for me this year, it's just so heartbreaking because I know that we have the potential to be up in the top 4. But to be honest, with some of the games we lost, I can't deserve it.
I think some of the games this year we've let go. Like there's been certain games this year that we've let go, basically. Like we let the Manchester United away game go. Like we went up there, set up again, like so negative to try and get a draw, and we ended up losing the game.
Yeah.
Brighton at home on the 27th of December. We set up again so negatively again against Brighton.
we draw the game 2-2. And there's been other times where Moyes has done, for what he's done good, he's done some things bad. And Mark Noble was a number 10. Now, I've watched Mark Noble all my life. Like, ever since he's put on a West Ham shirt, he's never been a number 10 in his life. And for him to go as a number 10 in certain games was a bit baffling. But, yeah, it's been a good season. Like, we can't complain.
Yeah, Mark says 10 at the back, James.
Yeah.
Foe's in the house. Oh, Foe. That's right. So, yeah, I think, I agree with you. I think that, some of the opportunities we had, we let slip through. I think the biggest part is learning from our mistakes. And I haven't seen us do that yet. I haven't seen Moyes capitalize on some of the mistakes that were made over the season. So I'm looking forward to him doing that in the coming season. So you're right. I think next year's going to be an ultimate telltale for us. Of course, we've had injuries at the wrong time, but that's every game or every season. And I think with rushing right back in after the COVID restart, we knew we were going to have more injuries this year, just with everyone playing such a long stint and a long season. So tell me about a game that you saw in the Bowl-In. I want to know about it because I never had the opportunity to go, and I know that you are interviewing people on their favorite game at the Bowl-In, correct?
Yeah, I'm interviewing people on Hammers Polls back to the Bowl-In series. I've got a couple, really. I witnessed back in 2011 when we beat Man United 4-0 in the League Cup. That was under Alex Ferguson for Manchester United. That was a good memory. The 2004 playoff semi-final against Ipswich was one of the best atmospheres you're ever likely to hear, ever, at the Bowl-In. Like, it was like we was 1-0 down against Ipswich through Darren Bent. We needed to win the game. We won the game comfortably, and the atmosphere was electric. The most maddest game I've ever witnessed is West Ham 5, Bradford 4. That was back in 99, I think, or 2000. Someone can tell me in the comments. But that was one of the most mentalist games that I want to see. What other ones have I seen? I've seen a few, obviously, and I've seen some derbies. I will see the 4-3 defeat to Tottenham in 2007 when we all thought we was going down, and then we've done the Great Escape. So yeah, the best one it's got to be the Ipswich one. But for the memories of the Bowl-In, obviously the last game at the Bowl-In against Manchester United, it was like a storytell finish. Like, you go 1-0 up, 2-1 down, and you win the game 3-2, and then 85th minute or whatever it was, he scored. Reed. So yeah, it's just it was so made. Cool. It was made to happen, and I've asked people about this. Funny enough, you saying that, and everyone I've asked, I've seen people break down crying because of the Bowl-In, like, because they go back to that time, and they just can't get to grips with Stratford because it's not a football ground. It's an arena, so to speak. It's a stadium, but it doesn't feel like West Ham yet, and I don't think it will do until they own it. And when they do own it, they can make their own design on it, and then it'll start feeling like home.
No, you're right. It is a stadium for sure. That was definitely the feeling I got when I walked into London Stadium. It was like all encapsulating, like just so big. So that's why I really am sad that I didn't get the opportunity to get to the Bowl-In. So Dalek's here. Hey, Dalek. Yep, we have James over in the UK tonight. He is our hometown hammer. Guys, I'm disappointed. My show should be on the TV, and NFL Draft should be on your phone. Okay? If you want a West Ham NFL podcast, you should be listening to Claire and Big Blue. They're great. I love them. They're a good bunch. And I do not condone any other team than the Philadelphia Eagles. So let's go Birds. That's right, Phil. Okay, so tell me about like the first time you went to a game. Like, who did you go with? Was it like family members or friends?
The first game I ever went to was a testimonial game. Like I went to Alvin Martin's testimonial. Now,
oh wow,
he was coming up to the end of his career. I think it was just the final season. I think it was. I went to that, and yeah, it was 4-3 to Chelsea. We played Chelsea, I think it was, and we lost 4-3, and I sort of got hooked then going to Upton Park, considering I live literally, I can get on a train and I can be at Upton Park in like 15 minutes, which is mad. And I went to that game and then started going as I was a bit younger. Like as I got older, I started going. When I was a bit younger, I couldn't really afford to go. Like as a youngster growing up, I was just like from a poor background, and basically I used to watch it on the people will know this in the chat, but I used to watch it on teletext. I used to you used to put the TV on, it'd be like your app that you would get, like you'd get now to see the sport, but it'd be on your TV. And I'll be watching it on teletext and waiting for the scores to flick over for 90 minutes. And it was just, as a kid growing up. Then when I started being able to go at 15, 16, I used to go to games. And just fell into it like that. And like, it's been times where it's been very hard. It's been hostile. It's been painful to see. And the first game that I did go to was the 5-4. The 5-4 at Bradford, that actual real game. So that one was when Di Canio, what was it? He started taking the ball off of Lampard for the penalty, and he was sulking and all that. Yeah, it's mad.
So I have a question for you then. Meat pie or apple pie?
Apple pie all day long.
And you know what? I got that right here for you. Bailey's apple pie.
Bailey's anytime, but Bailey's apple pie, I'm all over that. You know what I mean?
It's so good. I like the pumpkin better, but Bailey's always is a good little evening nightcap.
100%.
So, favorite player. Who is your favorite player of all time?
The first player I ever witnessed was Julian Diggs. He was raw. He was everything you wanted in a player to play for West Ham. Like, he had heart, passion, desire, good tackler. Then it's got to be Di Canio. He was one of the best players that you could ever see. When he got the ball, he was like a Dimitri Payet. What you see in Dimitri Payet 5 years ago is what we see when I was a kid growing up, seeing with him. He got touted for Man United. Alex Ferguson wanted him, and he said no. He said he wants to stay at West Ham. And the moment Di Canio became a legend at West Ham was the moment when he cried after the Chelsea game in 2003, when basically he knew he was going to leave. And we got relegated, and that was the last time he ever played for us. So he cried afterwards. He scored the winning goal, and he was top class, mate. He's a legend in his own right. Like Bobby Moore will always be a legend with West Ham, but Di Canio, when you talk to West Ham fans of my age and around our ages growing up, he will be a legend forever. Di Canio, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny. It's when I hear you guys talk about, being outside and hearing the roars, it's exactly what we used to do when we were kids, going to the Philly Stadium, because we couldn't afford to get in. And so we were, young, but the players back then forever stay in our hearts and minds. And it's neat to hear that Di Canio, I just know him from, hearing from you guys and seeing clips and everything. And it's cool to hear what it's like for you guys to see him as such a big part of your fandom.
Yeah, he was good. He was really good, and he wasn't just good. He was a match winner. And West Ham love a maverick. They love a player who can change a game, and that's what he done. He was phenomenal.
Yeah, I don't know that we've really had a player in a while that we can say has been like that. Now, of course, Mark Noble, he's the heart and soul of West Ham. But who else would you say recently has been a player that you think that, has really changed the game? I don't feel like we've had anyone.
Scott Parker was a good one. He was good for us. Obviously, Noble's been there for a long time. Payet, you got to say him. Who else is there after that? There's not many. And but you can also say like Carlton Cole was a good icon. Obviously, the 2016 of Ashton, Harewood, Zamora, they were all good players in their own right. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I would say there's a couple of outstanding, but that team that got to the FA Cup final in 06 was a good team, and we had good players and a good team morale around us.
It's funny. So my boyfriend was looking up things for like, I don't know, a birthday gift or something. And he was looking through like different actors and players that you can have give you like a birthday gram. And Carlton Cole is on there. That's the only one.
Yeah.
So he's like, who's Carlton Cole? I was like, what? Why? He was the only West Ham player.
He's an icon to West Ham fans. Like
he was just on Hammers 11.
Yeah, no, he's an icon to West Ham fans because like he signed. He didn't get in the team. He was about sixth choice striker. We had 6 strikers at the club at one stage. Then he eventually got in the team, and then they didn't want him anymore. He left. Then they had no striker. He come back, and then he's just been with us. He's been with us for a long time, and yeah, Carlton. He's always going to be remembered. He'd never be in Di Canio's class or anything like that. But he'd always be remembered for what he'd done, like the goal he scored at Wembley in 2012 to get us in the league. He scored one and he assisted the other.
He seems very nice and personable, and he scored more goals than me. So I give him all the respect in the world. I'm hoping someday I'll eventually be able to meet him when I get over to the other side of the pond. So
you will.
Hey, Charlie. So are you listening to Claret and Big Blue? I need to know because I think it's phenomenal what they do. And that's all I'm going to say about you drinking Jameson? No. Bailey's. Apple pie Bailey's. So, of course, you're not going to get off this show without telling us what your favorite chant is. And at minimum, you need to sing it.
Oh, I don't know about singing it at 25 past 1 in the morning because I don't want to be homeless, as I keep saying. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
I can't be getting chucked out of my crib for singing "I'm Forever Black Bubbles" at the top of my lungs. Maybe on View from the Sidelines, I might be able to get away with that one. But nah.
All right. I'll take a rain check.
Best chant. Payet's one was good. There's been a few really. Mazuaku's one is pretty decent. But Payet's one was a good one, like really good chant because it had the sort of rivalry with Arsenal because they had Ozil. They used to say they've got Ozil, and we'd say we got Payet, and yeah. So the Payet one was good, but do you know what? It just feels like a million miles away from going to a game, considering we've never been there for nearly 2 years, like in a roundabout way. Like last time, even though I went there, it was it shut down in March. I ain't been over there since 20 late 2019. And it's come up to 2020, like middle of 2021. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, mad.
You know, I don't know the Andy Carroll one. I feel like I might have heard it, but I'll have to look it up because I don't remember it. But that's funny. So yeah, I'm gonna have to take a rain check on the chant, but you will on View from the Sidelines.
No worries.
Who's your favorite team to beat?
See, normally I'll be out of it straight away saying Tottenham. Bang. There's a few, really. Obviously, Millwall is our rivals. They will always be our rivals. And the whole Tottenham thing is new, but Millwall's always been there. And it's always been brought up that it's only them as your rivals, no one else. Millwall's always obviously a good one. Always to beat them. It's a horrible one to lose, right? Especially if you lose to them heavy, which we have done when we was in the Championship. Tottenham in the league is always a good one. That's one that I can't stand every year. But there's one fixture that I'd rather lose to Arsenal and Chelsea every year, but I know we're going to beat Tottenham because I just can't. I just don't like losing to Tottenham at all. What's the other one? There's another one. Leeds, now they're in the league. That's a big game. And Manchester United's a big game. Like the big games, but they've got different meanings. Like Manchester United, we stopped them winning the title years ago, and Leeds is always just in a ferocious game. West Ham Leeds for years. But Tottenham, Chelsea, and Millwall for me.
Oh man, Aaron Rodgers being traded to the Broncos. I wanted him to take over Jeopardy. I wish he would quit. I like Jeopardy. So, what would you say is your favorite kit?
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, there was an old kit years ago, and where I was living in Dagenham, basically the kit had Dagenham motors on it, right? So I was like, they've got the kit from where I'm living, basically, and Dagenham to Upton Park on a train is like literally 15 minutes on a train. And yeah, Dagenham Motors one was good. I liked the last kit at the Bowling was a good one. That was a really good kit. I like that one. But then I've also seen some horrible kits. Ones where we haven't even had a sponsor. That's how bad it's got. You know what I mean? And we just had like Pony or you know what I mean, or some betting firm that's gone bust. You know what I mean? So Dagenham Motors for me, which is I think that was about 96, 95, 96 era. Do you know what I mean? Growing up.
Yeah, so you can start to tell my eyes are starting to shut because it's starting to get late and bright. So I start to go cross-eyed. So I have to put the glasses on, but it's my Jeopardy glasses, you know? It's like my nerd side. Did you see now it's not, I think it's just fake, but like, I think it wasn't Adidas, but it was like a white kit. They were saying it would be our away kit next year, but it had little like crosses all over it, like little hammers.
I haven't
just
seen
like all little hammers across the jersey. I was like, oh, how cool would that be?
I've seen some mad kits. I've seen a cream kit. I've seen obviously the black kit's nice. I think that's nice. Yeah, I don't know. The white kit, I don't know. It's just I like the black away kit. I do. I think the black away kit suits us going away from home. Yeah, that one all day long.
I love this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. He's a good kit.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a hard time. I like a lot of our light baby blues.
Yeah.
Fo likes the black kits. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what they come out with. The black and gold this year I actually debated getting. But I didn't go ahead and get one yet. We'll see. Maybe I will, since it's been such a memorable season. Okay. Who frustrates you the most on the squad?
You're dropping these questions like, yeah, I mean, like mastermind.
I know, at 1:30 in the morning.
This is quite good. This is quite interesting. Who frustrates me the most? I've got quite a few, if I'm honest. If I'm being really honest, I think, and I'll be honest straight up,
I like it.
Mazuaku has been here 6 years and he hasn't changed, in my opinion. He's been here since 2015. He hasn't got any better. He still does the same thing as he did when we signed him. Fredericks isn't a defender. He's a right wing back, and if for me he frustrates me. He's got no end product. Bowen has been done good recently over the last, say, 5 games, but before that he was one player who was frustrating the life out of me, because he's a good player and he just goes missing, and in certain games, and just doesn't. If he goes missing, then we're just ineffective up front. So it's like pretty pointless. Do you know what I mean? Other than that, yeah, maybe Issa Diop is another one. I know he can do a lot better. The first season he come here, he was phenomenal. I think it's a confidence thing with him, and that's about it really. I think the rest of them are like that, or doing really well. Oh, and Antonio when he don't hit the post. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Other than that, we're all good.
Anyone else?
No, there's no one else.
Still have the whole bench.
Yeah, I mean, there's no one else. I promise.
Well, that was excellent. I agree with you. I think all of your assessments are correct. I never put Issa Diop in that list because he's beyond frustration for me. Don't think he can do much better, but that's the difference of our opinions. But definitely Antonio. He's always been one of the more frustrating players. He has such a big heart.
I think what it is with Issa, if I'm honest, it's a confidence thing. Like when he's with a Bonner, like when you look at a Bonner, 2 years ago people wanted him at the door. Said he can't cut it in the league no more. He's no good, and he's making too many mistakes. And 2 years on, he's arguably our best defender at the club. So it's either he's got better or our standards have got worse, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I think there's a player in Issa, but I just think he needs to be given a bit of confidence. He's only young. He's going to learn. He's in the best league in the world. And what it is with the West Ham fan base, which I think you're probably gathered now, is we are very reactionary. Like if a player doesn't turn into Paolo Maldini or Marcelo Desailly, everyone's like, you know what, get rid of him, he's no good. But I can guarantee you right now, if he went to somewhere else and he started under a right sort of guidelines and like given the right path, he could be a really, really good defender.
Well, it's like the Philadelphia Eagles with Carson Wentz. He was God's gift to earth when he did well for us, and when things weren't turning out, bye. Yeah. So we're very much like that here in Philadelphia. Dalek, I need to know whose Snapchat is funny because I love Snapchat. But anyway, I'm hoping he's saying Antonio's because Antonio does crack me up as a person, just not when he's on the field, shooting 40 feet over the goal.
Unbelievable.
So if you had a time machine to go back to any point in time in the club's history, where would you go? Who would you see playing?
1980 FA Cup final. To witness it
and
to see it. And I think, and it is quite bad that in 41 years, we've been to one cup final in 41 years, and that's in 06. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it'd be 1980 for me, see them sort of players. I was born in 86, so I missed out on that by a good few years. And yeah, I just think other than that, the rest of it's been hard, like relegations and administrations and things like that. So for me, yeah, 1980 for me, FA Cup final.
Yeah. Your baby, 86. Huh. All right.
How old do you think I am? I'm not a baby. I'm 34. I'm getting on a bit.
Yeah. For a soccer player, yeah, you're an old man.
I know. Cheers. Thanks for that.
Hey, I'm right there with you. All right. So if you were going to play a spot on the team, I don't know if you've ever played proper football, but if you did, where would you play on the team?
Goalkeeper. I used to like being in
Really?
goal. Yeah, I used to like being in goal. I like to. I'm very vocal, as you know. I like to express myself quite openly and clearly, and I used to enjoy being in goal because I could see everything in front of me, and I could sort of marshal players to tell them where to play and like defenders where to go. And yeah, I used to like being in goal. I was never one for out on pitch, really, even though I was not too bad. And I did play years and years ago, but I did like to go in goal. I like to have that sort of, this is my castle, basically, being the goal. Right, you got to get past this. You got to get past me to get the point, basically, or the goal. So yeah, and yeah, I used to enjoy that massively.
It's an interesting question that I like to ask individuals because you can really tell a lot about how someone assesses the game by what they've played. And so I can tell for you being a goalkeeper and what you're saying in regards to the defense and where they are tactically and where they are on the field when something occurs. That's that goalkeeper in you that you have that. So.
It's because I'm very sort of not. I am opinionated, but I don't just say things for the sake of saying something. I've seen many things before, like, and I'm looking and I think, really, like, I know everyone's got a different opinion on different things, and you got to respect some things, but then some things are just beyond amazing. Like, do you know what I mean? So when I say something, I'm not saying it for the sake of saying it. I'm saying it because I can see naturally what it is. If like, you don't have to go and play certain, like, so defensive against defensive minded teams because they're going to set up like that anyway. Do you know what I mean? So like, you're going to set up defense with a defense and you're going to get a draw. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's the reason why.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. Pizza or tacos?
Do you know what? Like, I had this before. Like, over in England, like, you can have tacos in the cinema. Like, you go up there, you get your tacos, you get all your dips and all that, your salsa dips and all that. But I must admit, I do like a pizza. So yeah, and I'm not called Fat Boy Fever because I don't like my food. So pizza for me, honestly. It have to be pizza.
I saw a meme the other day, and it said, "Hang out with your friends and family." No, I'd rather go online and talk to my friends about West Ham and food. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much what I do every Thursday. We talk about West Ham. I ask you all about food.
Yeah.
We actually had phenomenal Indian food when we were in East London. And I'm always interested to hear what you guys like. So, like, at home, what would you say is like your favorite thing to eat?
What it is, especially in England, if you ever like an Indian food, you've had it in the best place. That makes sense. Having Indian food in East London is like proper. It's proper cuisine, like, because that's where the people are from, basically. For me, it's like a roast dinner. Like, Sunday roast is nice. An English fry up in the morning, like, that is just like, that's good. But there's a few, really. You got a lot of sort of old traditional foods like sausage mash and toad in yolk, which probably no one's even probably thinking about. But yeah, but then you can't beat a nice Chinese.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that too. I know. It's all great. Like, can I just eat it all? We had really good meat pies, and we had almost like a skillet and hash that was like phenomenal. So good.
Yeah.
So I did not get a proper Sunday roast, so that is on the list for next time I get across the pond.
Yeah.
I will definitely have to do that. So what would you say about West Ham you love the most?
The commitment of the fans. That's the one thing I will say, because we're not in it for the trophies, and we can all sort of, when you are in the crowd or at an away game and you look round and there's 6,000 West Ham fans, they're there because they love the team. They don't like, we're not. We've always said it. We don't support West Ham for the glory. We support it for the passion and the commitment of the club and what it means. And basically, in the East End, how West Ham are as a club is how the East End used to be. Like, everyone used to look after everyone else, and it was a very sort of old school type, like nothing was like, we don't do things massively. Like, we're not a Chelsea. We're not going to go out and spend just like silly money and make out that we're something we're not. We are what we are. We accept who we are, and the commitment of the fans will always be the same. West Ham could be playing in the third division or in England, but West Ham will go with 10, 15, 20,000. If they've got the seating and they've got the allocation, West Ham will fill out their end all the time, because that's what they're like. The fans have been through a lot, and I'm hoping that they don't have to go through a lot anymore in these good times. But yeah, when it's been hard, the fans have always turned up wherever, and it's the commitment of the fans for me. Like, every one of us can look at it, and even if you're a new fan just starting out, you will soon realise that you will always be accepted, like from any like creed or any sort of race or any country. When you are in claret and blue, you are claret and blue, and that's what we are.
It's very true. Very, very true. I'm getting ready to fly to Texas in a couple weeks, and I'm hoping to meet up with some of the Texas hammers over there. So that'll be my first middle of the country meetup with individuals, but we'll see. But yeah, so far everyone I've met has been so accepting and amazing, and even here in Philadelphia, we've got such a great bunch, and the whole American Hammers network is a lot of fun. So I've been really fortunate enough to meet everyone across the pond through it, like you and Kieran and Jake. Like, Jake is just like my hero.
Yeah,
he's just like amazing. So it's been really neat.
It's mad, because I'll be honest with you, I hadn't been in the YouTube game for long, hadn't done YouTube, and after the Brighton game in 27th of December, I went on a show, and I just about had enough, because I was hearing a lot of stuff from people, and I was like, some people, what they're saying is just not making any sense. Like, and someone said to me, he said, James, if anyone knows West Ham, it's you. No, I went on there, and I've just started to talk to people like yourself and the American fan base, and then you got Jake, who's doing his thing in like southwest of England, and I was looking at it and I was thinking, really, is there anyone who's actually local to the area who's still here, so to speak? And it's not many. Like, there's people from like up in like Scotland and down in sort of like Surrey or somewhere. And it's not that I don't begrudge anyone else, but I've lived in the area, I've breathed it, I've been born into it. And sometimes when you're into something, you can see it more and you can feel it more. And with the Boleyn, that's why it was hard for me personally because I've had many debates on this, on the bowling and leaving, because people lost their jobs, people lost their homes, people lost a lot. And I see it firsthand, and I was like, what they've done, they've just literally done what you just don't do to someone from the East End. Like you've just you took their livelihood away from them, like their work ethic and their life, basically. So yeah, that's what it is, basically.
Yeah, no, I absolutely understand that. And I think the good thing too is everyone who is a follower has some sort of tie. Those that do not aren't picking West Ham because of the glory. So it's like you get very genuine fans outside of East London. But I can completely understand how, having the Boleyn, leaving there, that it just left such a big hole in everyone's hearts, because like you said, it was people's livelihood. It wasn't just, a promise of a new stadium and things were going to be better. It was also the destruction of individuals' lives.
I think a lot of it though, Katie, was to do with the fact that they were sold a dream. We were sold a dream. Now, if a lot of people could go back, they would have the bowling tomorrow, and they would. And I don't think that will go until there is success at the club. And if that means Europe, if that means winning a trophy, we have to make our own history, new history at the ground. Until we do, that will always be over them. And it affected a lot of people. Honestly, I could sit down and talk about it for a long, long time. And like people lost their jobs, like people had kids and mortgages and renting, and do you know what I mean? And it ain't just up sticks, move West Ham to Stratford. And it wasn't just that. It's that the owners, and that's why I'm very passionate with the owners, and that's why a lot of West Ham fans are and all. Like they didn't take any of them with them over to Stratford. If they would have took the businesses and plonked them in the ground and said, right, you can sell your pie and mash from here. We give you a area to sell your pie and mash from there. We give you a bar area for your stuff. A lot of people would have seen that differently, but because they didn't do that and they looked at it that we'd get out of there and leave everyone behind, it was like a betrayal, basically.
Yeah, I get that. And, they had plenty of space to do that. So I don't know what the thinking was behind not offering that sort of space or options. That's a big question in my mind, other than just the greed of them to do their own thing.
You just don't do it in like, and I could speak about it. You just don't do things like that. If for instance, you look after your own. There's an old saying that you look after your own, and West Ham fans have looked after West Ham for a hell of a long time. Like, and I've known people who go home and away religiously. They won't miss a game. Like people have cancelled their wedding day and moved it over a day to go to West Ham on the Saturday. Like that's some of them are mad, some of them are, because it's a life. It's their life. Like they've grown up with it. Their dad was it. Their granddad was it. Their dad was it. So it's not as easy as just going, I'm going to walk away. Do you know what I mean? A lot of West Ham fans have walked away from the situation with West Ham until the owners are gone. Once the owners
makes sense.
Once the owners are gone and new owners come in, I can guarantee you the old school will come back.
I'd like to see that. It does very much remind me of Philadelphia, because the fans are very much like that. And there's been certain instances where, we've had situations where people want to walk away, but it's sort of in our blood. And same thing, if there's a wedding and the game is on, somebody is putting the game on the side TV at a wedding so we can all watch it. So that's exactly
how. Well, let me ask you a question. If West Ham were playing in the cup final and you was getting married on that day, what would you choose?
It'd have to be on. It would have to, because There's no way. Like I would never miss that.
Well, I'll tell you
Now I
what.
probably cursed myself.
I'll tell you what. My girlfriend turned around and said that to me. Yeah, if West Ham were playing a
Oh,
final or we was getting married, what would you choose? I said, we can get married any other day, but West Ham.
even just have an intermission of 90 minutes. Listen, you get married in the morning. I need my 90-minute intermission and then the reception.
I would. I'll get married at 8 o'clock in the morning if I had to. If West Ham
Exactly.
playing
Yeah.
at
Oh,
12.
and my family, we're big sports fans, so they would totally understand that. They're like, oh, plenty of time to drink in between.
Yeah.
So Dalek, I am not going to Dallas, so I will not be able to meet up with Frankel. So Jesse asked a stupid question: is it wrong to support two clubs? Because I support the Hammers as my main team, and the second team is Celtic FC. No, I don't think so. I don't think there's anything wrong with supporting two different teams. They're not in the same division, so I don't think anyone would have a problem.
Nah, not for me. But as I say, like you do, if you support West Ham, you're not in it for the trophies. That's what I say. So I mean, you're always welcome.
Yeah, I mean, I would say if you were picking two rivals, that's kind of debatable. And I always feel like it's debatable when you're picking, the cream of the crop team just to follow them because of all their wins. But yeah, I don't see any reason why you couldn't have two. So go for it, Jesse. Just let's hope
One thing I will say though, is you will feel it. You would have probably felt it, Katie, when how you become a West Ham fan. You will feel it. It will drag you. It'll pull you in. Like I couldn't imagine me wearing. Well, I'll put it this way. Like people have said to me, James, if we lose a bet, you got to wear a Tottenham shirt for a day or something. I'll be like, no, mate, I'll pay that money. Like I just couldn't do it. It's just totally not in my head. It's like it's just wrong on so many levels. It's like committing a crime. And yeah, you feel it as a West Ham fan. That's what drives you.
Charlie Boy says that if he was married, he'd be divorced half time. Yeah, well, your wife, hopefully you'd be marrying somebody that would understand that forever blowing bubbles is very important. West Ham and marriage, I see many bubbles in your future. That's right. That's all right. So, well, that's about all the questions I have for you tonight. I hope it wasn't too tough. I mean, we got to talk West Ham and food. But the last question I need to know is what you're thinking about Monday, what the score will be, and where you think we'll finish.
Katie, you got to stop all these hard questions. You wait till you come on my show. I'm going to make sure I'm going to get the encyclopedia out and make sure I get some good questions for you.
All right.
Right. What do I think about Monday? I'm nervous, mate, if you want to be honest, because we just don't win there. I said it to you before on Hammers Polls. I said about Newcastle. I knew it was coming up there. We just don't win there. And it's the same thing again. To me, on Monday, if we don't win the game, we ain't getting Champions League. That's completely gone. And it'll be confirmed on Monday if we don't win the game. What do I think will happen on Monday? I think we draw up there. I don't think we lose up there. I think we draw. Moyes has to do something new because the last two games have been poor and two back-to-back defeats. He's got to try and stop the rot. If we go there and win, then we've still got a chance. But anything other than a win, it's good night from Champions League for us, in my opinion. I'm going to say 1-1. I think it'll be a low-scoring game. I can't see it being a 3-2 or anything mad like it has been recently. But if we do win up there, then hopefully we might have turned the corner and like, do you know what I mean? But if we lose, then it's good night.
All right, I hope I'm not calling you crying on Monday evening.
I'm always crying. Every time.
Alex wants to know Apple or Google. I'm not sure.
Oh, Google for me. I can't deal with. I'm an Android boy, so it have to be Google. So I can't deal with Apple or iPhones or anything like that.
All right, Kieran, we'll see you next time. I promise you're not old. I was just teasing. I was just teasing James because he's a little bit younger.
I don't know. I'm just old in general.
Hey, when you're a soccer player, your joints feel just as old. Man. All right. Well, here's to giving good luck and good vibes to West Ham. I really think that, we need a win to put me back in, put a little spring back in my step, because I've been missing it this week. But looking forward to coming on any of the Hammers polls, chats or anything like that. So guys, make sure you again subscribe to Hammers polls, and I'll see you guys next Thursday for another Hometown Hammer, and we are going to leave it with come on you Irons. All right, guys. Oh, he's doing the Jesse. I can't even. All right, guys, have a good night. Thanks for coming. See you soon.